Love Bites have a brand new song called Soul Defender, and that is exactly what we're going to be checking out now. I'm going to be honest, I've been really excited about Love Bites with the slight change of direction that they did on Unchained. Obviously, I don't want all of their songs to suddenly go in this direction, but it was just really nice to hear that sudden variation after we had Judgment Day, which had been so heavy, a really interesting album as well. I'm just really glad to see them playing with so many ideas. Of course, they've kept that core Love Bites sound, but they're playing with so many things. Also, I was really impressed in Unchained at just how much Haruna, who we all knew was skillful, had stepped up and did this really interesting and intricate beat there. Fabi is one of the big points of excitement I have about this new Love Bites EP too, because this is the first full-length recording where she has basically been in from the start, and we know that the bass is all her input, and of course she has legendary talent on her side. So hyperbole aside, I mean, it's not really hyperbole, it's just true. But if we put all that aside, I'm just really excited to see what comes out of this. It's 5 minutes long, typical Love Bites length songs. They don't like to keep anything short. And we're going to go check it out now. So let's have a little listen to the brand new Love Bites song, which is called Soul Defender. I'm wondering if that means it's going to be like soul music. Oh, reminding everyone about the heavy. Alright, all on the snares there. Really snare-led beat. Oh, it's a long intro. I know they're going for that old school Love Bites feel on the EP, and this melody definitely is similar to those vibes. I thought I said that's a real headbanger. Sing along there. You can already tell that's the bit everyone will sing along at the show. It's interesting because I feel like in the chorus, the snare-led beat really gives it an extra headbang. I'm not even a big fan of this kind of beat, when you do this fast, it works. And of course here she's more into traditional sort of crashing beats. Again, they've gone for a big catchy chorus. I gotta say, like, the two songs we've had so far, you're gonna get the bridge now, both very different songs, but both feel really accessible. Alright, here we go. Who did not see the solo coming? As usual, slow build up. Oh, loving that nice old school TV effect. That's cool. The solo always ends up doing this arpeggio bit. And I love that. I know there's a 4 minutes I love Bites and solos, but it's a good formula. said that there's something about Love Bites' ability to make 5 minutes feel like a lot less than 5 minutes. But that's a core seal of approval right now. Love that final note as well. All right, that was cool. That was a lot of coolness right there. Let's find, as usual, let's find a good frame. Let's find a good frame. Cold-blooded. Stand up and shout. That's a pretty good frame. Let's put that one up. Okay, so, yeah. I mean, the first thing that really comes across is that obviously it is quite a different song from Unchained that we heard. I mean, both of them do definitely, in many ways, remind you of the Love Bites formula for how they like to construct their songs. Both of them have a certain degree of nostalgia for that first EP and for the earlier Love Bites works. I mean, you definitely get a good vibe of those from here as well. But at the same time, it also feels like it's not just like reminiscing on the old days. It also feels like they're moving forwards. You know, songs like this, they're reminiscent of where they started, but they also show like that, just that little bit more wisdom in the writing that has progressed over time. I mean, this is the sort of song where, again, all of the nuance and complexity that people love from Love Bites is here, but it is so much more accessible. It's got a chorus that is more effective than I think on a lot of the older songs. It just feels like a band who are more comfortable with what they do. I will be honest, when it comes to a decision between this and Unchained, Unchained slightly wins me over because I think Unchained was just a little bit more oddball, and I'm always going to be one for those. This definitely feels very much like it's kind of straight down the line in a lot of ways. It is Love Bites being Love Bites. This is their core sound in a lot of ways, but I think it really works. You know, again, you can't argue with a formula that works, and especially if they keep on improving upon it. I was really impressed, as I mentioned, about the beat. I'm not a big fan of those snare-led beats where the snare is appearing on the first beat every bar. But in this particular case, it was so fast that it worked really well, especially in the chorus. The chorus was where it really worked because the chorus was one of those sort of like pump your fist kind of choruses where you're just shouting along to it. So that was definitely the point where I went, yeah, okay, this is definitely clicking. This is definitely working. But I think that as a general, there was a nice, interesting balance between headbangery bits and melody bits in here. It was just a very pleasing song. The solo, again, very satisfying, but also doing what Love Bites have done before. So, in a way, I would perhaps argue that the biggest damnation you could give to this song, if you were really nitpicking and looking for a problem, is you could say, well, look, it doesn't do anything that Love Bites haven't done before. So in a way, you could say it feels like them just kind of bringing their sound back. But, you know, they got a lot of fans for a reason, and their sound does work. And as I mentioned before, it's kind of okay to keep on not to keep on revisiting sound, to have a core sound if you keep on improving it. There's nothing interesting about hearing a band who just lazily keeps on recycling a sound. But if you're improving it, if you're doing new things with it, if you're making songs that are increasingly catchy or melodic, or that, you know, are tighter, that you can do more fun things in, then why not, you know, replace the old with the new if you can do so. And so for me, this was just a nice example of them more revisiting their core sound and bringing it forward along with what hopefully will be a very exciting EP. Again, I think Unchained will probably still be my favorite at this point, just because it was so quirky and so different, and because they tried a lot of interesting little writing ideas but fit them into their sound so well. But they tried little interesting things in there that were really surprising. So I think Unchained's still my favorite, but this is, if nothing else, this is brilliant because you put this alongside Unchained. Those two songs, definitely the same band, but they sound so different, and there's something nice about that feeling because you already know that when you put on this EP, just from these two songs, you already know there's going to be plenty of variation in there. So yeah, I have a lot of positive feelings towards this. Again, as I've often said, Love Bites are a band who everything they do is metal. Everything they do usually operates at this kind of fast tempo. There are certain areas where you know they're going to stay within, but they are exploring the areas that they work within. They're exploring their sound. Like I say, Haruna is being playful with the beat. We're getting interesting sort of vocal melodies. The guitar solo, the guitar solo was a little bit familiar to ones we've had before, but still, it was nice, concise, and it was very effective. It threw you into that last part of the song really well. Fami was doing great. I want to hear maybe a little bit more of Fami In this one, I still felt like she was playing pretty solid, but I get the feeling she had room to do a little bit more. So I kind of hope that we get to hear on the EP a little bit more of Fami getting to do some more crazy bass lines. I know that kind of crazy bass line is usually not associated so much with like chugging bass, but she's a multi-stylist, so I'm like really hoping to see her like do some really interesting bass lines at other points in the album, and maybe that'll be something we come up soon. But yeah, I'm really excited to see what the rest of the EP sounds like, get a whole taste for it. But as usual, those are my thoughts on this one. Get in the comments and tell me what you think, until I hopefully see you very soon in Japan for the next one of these. For now, ciao, ciao.